So ain't nobody gonna perform for Donald Trump, huh? Which one of you jigaboo ass niggas gonna be the first one to do it? I'm waiting. I'm gonna roast the f out one of you Uncle Tom ass niggas for doing it. Which one of you gonna do it first?
Snoop is just really hilarious.
Snoop Dogg is funny,
He's doing all these things.
The tension in the room was thick enough to cut with a blade. But for Katt Williams, this wasn't just a comedy set. It was a prophetic calling out of the industry's most protected gatekeepers. To understand why Katt is aiming his sights at a global icon like Snoop Dogg, you have to understand the era of industry accountability we are currently living through. For years, the hip-hop community has watched its legends transition from the concrete of the streets to the velvet ropes of the political elite. But Katt is asking a question that most are too afraid to whisper. At what point does leveling up become selling out? The footage you just saw wasn't just a joke. It was the opening salvo in a war for the soul of the culture. Katt Williams has built a reputation as the people's champ, precisely because he is willing to burn the bridge while he's still standing on it. By challenging the community to see who would be the first to align with a polarizing political figure, he wasn't just looking for a punchline, he was looking for a traitor. And as the dust settled on the latest election cycle, his eyes landed squarely on the Long Beach legend himself. But why Snoop? Why now? The answer lies in a series of calculated moves that have reportedly left the streets feeling disconnected from their most famous representative.
Your career down the road. People might not want to book you in Texas or Arizona or California.
Sir. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Let's let that.
The irony of Snoop Dogg being checked by a comedian isn't lost on those who have followed the West Coast's intricate hierarchy. For decades, Snoop has been the untouchable uncle of the industry, a man who navigated the treacherous waters of the 90s gang wars only to emerge as a beloved household name who cooks with Martha Stewart. But to Katt Williams, this evolution looks more like a strategic retreat from the front lines of reality. Katt isn't just criticizing Snoop's humor, he's pointing at a fundamental shift in frequency. While the general public sees a savvy businessman securing his legacy, Katt allegedly sees a political dog who has been trained to sit and stay when the establishment calls. The check Katt is referring to stems from a perceived silence on issues that matter to the community, while simultaneously being front and center for corporate and political photo ops. Reports suggest that the breaking point for Katt was seeing Snoop's dramatic pivot toward figures he once publicly ridiculed. This isn't just about a disagreement over a performance, it's about the credibility of the OG title, in an era where authenticity is the only currency that still matters. According to industry insiders, Katt believes that when you become a mascot for the machine, you lose the right to speak for the streets.
Just want to say this real quick, man, on the political shit. All you people for the federal government that not getting paid right now, ain't no fucking way in the world y'all can vote for Donald Trump when he come back up again. If y'all do vote for him, y'all some stupid motherfuckers.
Inaugurated as the 47th president of the United States of America, Snoop Dogg performed at the Crypto Ball. Now, Snoop Dogg, he got the backlash because people are like, wait, this isn't the same Snoop from 2016 who had so much to say about the artist performance.
The term political dog carries a heavy spiritual and cultural weight in Katt Williams' vocabulary. To Katt, this isn't about local elections or tax brackets. It's about a man who has allegedly traded his bite for a leash. By suggesting that Snoop is moving in a territory where loyalty and truth no longer align, Katt is highlighting the danger zone of high-level fame. This is the moment where an artist becomes so big that they are no longer allowed to have an unfiltered opinion because it might jeopardize a billion-dollar merger or a government alliance. Public records show Snoop Dogg has transformed from a man who was once a target of the system into a man who is now an integral part of its marketing arm. Katt's warning about not being booked in places like Texas or Arizona is a metaphor for losing the grassroots support that built the Snoop Dogg empire. While Snoop might be safe in a corporate boardroom in New York, Katt is questioning if he can still walk through the neighborhoods that gave him his name. This is the classic Icarus story of hip-hop, flying so close to the sun of the elite that you forget the wings were made by the people on the ground. Commentators speculate that Katt sees Snoop as the ultimate test case for whether a legend can survive recruitment by the powers that be.
Yeah. Get your life right. Stop worrying about mine. I'm cool. I'm together. Still a black man. Still 100% black.
The shockwaves from Katt Williams' Club Shay Shay appearance are still vibrating through the industry, but his pivot towards Snoop Dogg signifies a massive shift in his Scorched Earth campaign. While his previous targets, Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and Ricky Smiley, were accused of personal slights or joke thievery, the allegations against Snoop are systemic. Katt isn't just complaining about a stolen bit, he's allegedly exposing a pattern of industry co-opting, where legends are neutralized by corporate and political entities. According to public sources, Katt's frustration stems from a perceived conspiracy of silence among A-list stars. While Katt was being arrested, blackballed, and ridiculed for speaking his truth, he reportedly watched Snoop Dogg rise to a level of immunity that few black entertainers ever achieve. Critics and fans alike are now looking at Snoop's recent praise of political figures whom he once vitriolically attacked as evidence that Katt might be onto something. To Katt, this isn't growth, it's the price of a seat at the table. The question he's posing to the audience is simple. If your favorite legend is now shaking hands with the people who used to oppress them, are they still your legend? This isn't just a beef, it's an ideological autopsy of what it means to be a boss in the modern age.
Of course, Snoop has responded to the backlash he received for performing for a Trump event. One of the things he pointed out was that we always stick together. We're good at tearing each other apart, which is pretty constant. It's pretty consistent when somebody gets into trouble. It takes backlash from the community. It's always a communal thing. It isn't any action they took. It is the fact that we can't stay together, that we can't stick together, that it's us always attacking us. But that flies in the face of the reality of what's happening right now. It is not us who are tearing down affirmative action. It is not us who is tearing down DEI. It is not us who are tearing families apart. It is not us who have decided that affirmative action and rollbacks that have been that had precedent for 50, 60 years are gone. It is not us that is doing it. It is, I think most people are disappointed because they saw you a specific way, and you have a right to kind of interpret and do whatever artistically you want to. No one's begrudging you that. But why the attack on the community because they disagree with something you did?
No, on some real though, it's about time somebody said some gangster shit up in here. Hey yo, Katt Williams, when did they start selling pimp clothes at Baby Gap? My nigga over there drinking that Hennessy out of that little sippy cup.
This viral clip from 2019 showcases a Snoop Dogg that feels worlds away from the man we see today. Back then, Snoop was the vocal antagonist of the MAGA movement, even depicting a clown-like version of the former president in his music videos. But fast forward to January 2025, and the landscape has shifted so dramatically that even the most loyal fans are experiencing whiplash. Reports indicate that Snoop Dogg performed at the Crypto Ball during the 60th presidential inauguration festivities for Donald Trump, an event where guests reportedly wore "Make Crypto Great Again" hats. To Katt Williams, this isn't just a change of heart, it's a receipt. The turning point, according to many public sources, was the 2021 pardon of Death Row Records co-founder Michael Harry O. Since that legal favor was granted, Snoop's rhetoric has shifted from F Trump to I have nothing but love and respect for him. Katt allegedly believes this is the ultimate proof of his recruitment theory. In the documentary of Snoop's life, this chapter is being framed by critics not as a move toward unity, but as a strategic pivot to protect his burgeoning business empire and his crypto interests. According to public reactions, the internet is now echoing Katt's sentiment. Was the price of a pardon the soul of a legend?
Snoop is just really hilarious.
Snoop Dogg is funny,
He's doing all these things.
Just want to say this real quick, not on the political shit. All you people for the federal government that not getting paid right now, ain't no fucking way in the world y'all can vote for Donald Trump when he come back up again. If y'all do vote for him, y'all some stupid motherfuckers.
The survival of Snoop Dogg is often cited as the greatest marketing feat in the history of hip-hop. He is the only artist to successfully transition from a murder trial in the 90s to carrying the Olympic torch in Paris. But Katt Williams is digging beneath the surface of that success, suggesting that survival in the industry often requires the death of the original self. To Katt, the Snoop of today is a manufactured hologram of the man who once stood on stage at the Source Awards and challenged the entire world. Online reactions suggest that Katt's critique has touched a nerve because it highlights the comfort trap. While Snoop is reportedly securing 10-figure deals and rubbing shoulders with world leaders, the community that built him is facing the same struggles they were 30 years ago. Katt's argument is that a leader's job is to pull the community up, not to climb the ladder and then pull the ladder up behind them to join the elites. According to public sources, the disconnect isn't just political, it's cultural. Katt alleges that Snoop has become polished to the point of being unrecognizable to the streets that once protected him. This sets the stage for the final confrontation. Can Snoop Dogg remain a gangster while operating as a diplomat, or has the political dog finally been tamed? The gravity of this situation isn't just about a disagreement between two legends, it's about the uncomfortable silence that followed. According to public sources, when the criticism began to peak, Snoop Dogg didn't release a formal statement or a press release. Instead, he took to social media, leaning into a vibe of calm defiance that many fans found unsettlingly polished. In a video that quickly went viral, Snoop appeared to dismiss the sellout narrative entirely, telling his audience to get your life right and stop worrying about mine. To some, this was the ultimate display of a man who had transcended the need for validation. To Katt Williams and his supporters, however, this was allegedly the defensive posture of someone who had lost his connection to the very people who gave him a voice. The irony here is deep. Katt Williams, a man who has famously been arrested and ridiculed for his erratic behavior, is being heralded as the saner voice for pointing out the contradictions in Snoop's brand. While Snoop was reportedly DMing fans privately to defend his gangster party stance, the public was watching a man who once mocked the federal government, now headlining events for its highest-ranking officials. According to online reactions, the political dog label stuck because it highlighted a perceived transactional nature of loyalty. Critics argue that the radical Snoop of the 90s wouldn't recognize the diplomat of 2025, a man who is reportedly more concerned with crypto valuations and global brand expansion than the street-level ethics he once pioneered. As the industry watches this fallout, the consequences are becoming clear. This isn't just a rift between two celebrities, it's a shift in how we view legacy. Katt Williams has effectively drawn a line in the sand, suggesting that you can have the money, the deals, and the political access, but you can't have the street's respect at the same time. Reports suggest that the last warning Katt issued wasn't just words, it was a signal to the culture that the age of the untouchable icon is over. Whether Snoop Dogg can navigate this latest storm without losing his uncle status remains to be seen. But for now, the shadow cast by Katt's allegations looms larger than any brand deal could ever cover. The question remains, in the pursuit of becoming a king, did the dog from Long Beach lose his soul to the palace? And don't go anywhere. Click the next video you see on your screen for even more juicy celebrity chaos, betrayals, and stories Hollywood doesn't want you to know. See you in the next one.